Hey everybody, this is Brian Hogue. Welcome to Chiller Night Live, where from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 p.m. we'll be talking about all things horror, science fiction, paranormal. Basically, you throw out the topic, we'll make a show out of it. And Renee is the first comment of the night. Renee says the one and only best underrated horror, sci-fi, fantasy movie host, Jack Shadow / Brian Hogue's Chiller Night Theater live pre-show / zombie apocalypse escape room experience. It has been an honor and a privilege. Oh, thank you, Renee. Thank you very much. Wow, what an intro. What an intro. Stephanie says, hey, y'all. Hey, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. Renee says, and I am so humbled to have known you live. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Renee. And, I have been, okay. I've been thinking a lot more about this. What I think I will do is if I do stay on Tuesday nights, what I would prefer to do, I'll get into this a little bit more, but I think what I'll prefer to do is highlight more of the Chiller Night Escape Experience business and not really Chiller Night Theater. That way I would feel like I'm on here for a little bit more of a purpose in leaning toward my business. So that's something I'm ping-ponging around in my head. So, but thank you, Renee. That's very nice of you, and I'm so thankful that I get to interact with you guys every week, and this is really fun. This is really fun. Victor says, how's it going, Brian? It's going very well, Victor. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Renee says, swan song. Exactly. Yeah. So I've got that to think about, too. Laser Corn says, hey, peeps, reporting live from Chili's in Altoona, PA. All right, Laser, thanks for joining us. SBC says, hello, everyone. Hey, SBC, thanks for joining us. PBR Street Gang with his little wave emoji, so I'm physically waving back to you. Renee says, I love you, Brian Hogue. Oh, thank you, Renee. I love you and everybody else out there who make this show fun and possible every week. Paul says, brother, how are you doing? And Ava, I'm here, but I have to go in 5 minutes. Oh, that's right. Yeah, just wanted to tell you that I would try to get back on after my appointment at 8:15. Love you. All right. Well, thank you, Paul, and I hope that goes well. Let me know how that's going, and I wish you well with all of that. John says it's Tuesday night and time again for the cure for the holiday blues. Aw, this is Crozak the Grand, and it's time again for Chiller Night Live. And now here's our host, Brian Hogue. Well, thank you, Crozak the Grand, for that very elaborate introduction. I appreciate that. Jason says, I'm still recovering from the devastating news of last week. This show will be sorely missed, but I understand you need to do what's best for you. Well, thank you, Jason. Stephanie says, take care, Paul. Yes, indeed, for Paul. Yeah, I've been going back and forth with this idea. If I were to stay on Tuesday nights for the Tuesday night thing, what I would want to do, and like I said, I'll probably hit on this a little bit more in depth, is kind of redirect away from Chiller Night Theater because I'm not making any more episodes. So, and just focus. I would like to take time out to highlight things that are going on in my business, the Chiller Night Escape Experience. If I do something like that, I can see staying on Tuesday nights to at least meet up and do this. As far as anything, playing on Stream TV, I'm not sure if their intent is to continue playing Chiller Night Theater. Like I said, they're certainly welcome to, and I'd be happy if they did that, but I don't expect them to do that. They've been giving me that platform for all these years. If they had something else in mind that they wish to play on Saturday nights, it's understandable. But or if they wanted to play Chiller Night Live. That's up to them. I would like to, if I did stay on again, I would like to. I see it making a little bit more sense for me to highlight, things in my business, things in Chiller Night Escape Experience. So um, that's something that I'm thinking a lot more about in that direction. So, but anyways, that's what Victor says. Tuesday will not be the same without Chiller Night Theater. Oh, thank you, Victor. Renee says, Terror, Tuesday taco cheeseburger. Renee says, yeah, stay on, please, Brian Hogue. I beg of you. Oh, thank you, Renee. SBC says, maybe I'll do a live stream on my channel. I just have to figure out a concept for it. Oh, there you go. Terror. Would you want to see this if it were, like I say, I guess it could even still be called Chiller Night Live. It just wouldn't be the pre-show anymore. It would not be something to where I'm highlighting the shows. I'm moving on from the shows, and I'm not making any more new programming, at least not in the next year or two, as far as I'm aware. If it's something to where you wouldn't mind me going on at least segments of the show where I'm infomercialing the heck out of my store. Now, I'm taking little segments and I'm talking about what I am doing. That's something, if I suppose if you're okay with that, then I don't know. I've been doing a lot of thinking, been talking to Ava about this week, and it's just something that I feel like I would want to highlight more of the escape rooms, the haunted house. I want to highlight that. I want to really put a lot more emphasis on that, because I have some things coming up in that business that I would really like to be talking about. So I'll just throw that out there. Laser says it could morph into a new version of Chiller Chat, Brian. I've been thinking about that too. I even have, what's this? Like the one of the versions of the Chiller Chat backgrounds. I don't know, but I'm up for that idea. But like I said, I just don't want, I don't see me highlighting Chiller Night Theater. I don't see me putting out a new schedule every week after this month. I don't see that being where my direction is taking me and where I'm working toward. So if that's something you guys are cool with, we do this exchange, but then just understand, maybe every 15 minutes I'm hitting like 5 minutes worth of just talking about what I'm doing, what I plan to do with the Chiller Night Escape Experience store. And then that might be something I can even highlight at the store. Watch Chiller Night live to get the folks involved here as well. So I've been thinking a lot about this week. I don't want to shut it down, but I don't want to keep focusing on Chiller Night Theater, to be quite honest with you, because that's just, I'm not making any new episodes. Nothing negative, it's just that I'm not making any new episodes, and I want to direct this toward what I'm putting all my attention toward, so just Renee, what's this? For the love of Pete's sake, and Petey, the little rascal, our gang doggy, stay on. Oh, yeah, I remember. Wasn't that the dog with the big block around his eye? John says, late birthday wishes for the First Lady of Horror Host. Happy belated birthday to Malia Elizabeth Nurmi, better known by her other iconic identity, Vampira. Very cool. Very cool. Kevin says, hi, Brian. Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining us. PBR says, anyone seen the new Winnie the Pooh movie? I have not, but speaking of movies, I'll put up this. I will put up the schedule because we're still in December. I will put up the background. I read somebody's. I'll put up the schedule here, and then we'll jump right back into the comments. Okay, we'll see what you guys think. See what I think, and we'll go with that. So here we go. This Saturday, December 16th, on Stream TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the Chiller Night Live pre-show. We got 2 more pre-shows after tonight's show. Okay, as far as calling it the pre-show, as far as it being the pre-show. At 9 p.m., the feature movie of the week is Bride of the Gorilla. Then at 10:30, Atom Age Vampire. 12:10 a.m., the movie is Manos, The Hands of Fate. And then 1:35 in the morning, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. So there you have it. There's a lineup. You can watch that on Stream TV at streammedia.tv. And we'll put that up a few more times here throughout the duration of the episode. Stephanie says, I like that background. Do ya? I even changed some of these, some of the posters. I did that one, Night of the Creeps, because that was actually, we were doing the watch parties. That's how long it was. Several years ago. We were doing the watch parties on the Chiller Night Facebook group page, and one of the movies was Night of the Creeps, and so I put that up there. As well as Curse of the Werewolf. Fright Night, I have Fright Night up there. These are not the original posters that were up in the background normally, so there we go. I have not seen the Winnie the Pooh movie. Has anybody seen the new one, Blood and Honey? I'm curious to know. This is good questions, PBR Street Gang, because I'd like to know that too. Paul says, do what's best for you. I will always appreciate what you have shared. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Jason says, you should definitely do what you propose. Your audience will follow you. Oh, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Stephanie says, my birthday is after Christmas. Oh, yeah? Like right after Christmas? Like the 26th? The 26th? I think we have a show on the 26th. Is that right? Am I thinking about that right? Yeah. Is your birthday then? Lazycorn says, I agree with Paul, Brian. You take care of you, and when you're around, we'll be here. Oh, thank you. Lisa, I would also suggest that everyone has their notifications on, just in case Brian hops on when the mood/chance strikes. Very, very good advice there. Renee says, wow, sick Night of the Creeps. You like that? PBR says, I think it's a crime in some states to show Manos more than once in a given decade. LOL. Yeah, if it ain't, it ought to be. I'll tell you what. I don't mind putting my 2 cents in on that one. SBC says, we just need to find a name that really highlights the escape room concept. Oh, that's a good, I like that. I don't know enough about American tax law, but maybe you can deduct it from your taxes when you use as advertising. Very true. Renee says, horror, Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, has anybody seen Pooh, Blood and Honey? I gotta know. I gotta know. Stephanie says, I've never seen the new Winnie the Pooh and never will. By the way, my birthday on the 27th, on the Wednesday. Okay, so it'll be, we'll be here on the 26th. We'll be doing a show on the 26th. So yours is on the 27th. Awesome. Okay, very, very cool. No, so I'm not seeing any, okay, PBR, did you see the new Pooh movie? Have you seen it? The only one that okay, so as I'm waiting for a response, Sheila says, that's sacrilege, making Winnie the Pooh as horror. That, I tell you, okay, if that's sacrilege, then what about Violent Night? Have you guys Have you seen this movie? Normally, I will say this. I love the holidays. I'm a big holiday nut. I love Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. I love this time of the year. Yes, I love Halloween, obviously, but I'm a big holidays guy. I really have always been. I've just have such great memories of the holidays, and I still try to do a lot in holidays to keep that. But I'm not normally, for like integrating Christmas with horror. I know Krampus has been a big thing here recently over the last few years. That springs up quite a bit. But has anybody seen Violent Night? Because we watched that. Ava and I watched that the other night, and when was it? Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night. And I gotta say, I found it was entertaining. It was actually pretty good. We ended up watching it again on Sunday, and I know Ava's already rooting for a sequel for it. So let me know. Let me know. I gotta say, I'm not normally because I always say let the kids have Christmas, for crying out loud. I know Halloween's for the kids too, but I gotta say, this was an enjoyable movie. Gerald says, "Hey, Gerald, thanks for joining us. Hope all is well. Tigger kills Christopher Robin's wife? Question mark. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. What'd Paul say? Banana Splits horror movie was a lot of fun. Banana Splits, they made a horror movie? Oh, gosh. Did they really? I remember that show when I was a kid, vaguely. I remember, I know of the show you're talking about. Or Renee says, OMG, I left ufologist Richard Dolan and Martin Willis podcast UFO live right now for you, Brian Hogue. That's how much horror I love. Ah, well, thank you, Renee. Wow, I feel honored. I'm very honored. Thank you. PBR says, no, I've not seen it, referring to the Winnie the Pooh horror movie. Going to see it day after tomorrow. Okay, I'm very curious. Yeah, PBR, you just gotta let me know. You're seeing it the day after tomorrow, so by next week you'll be able to tell us a little bit, or at least give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let us know what you think. Tom says that's the guy from Stranger Things. Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun one to watch. It really is. Renee says, I Incredible Hulk smashed your thumbs up like Brian. Awesome. All right, everybody. Hulk smash that like button. I love that idea. Thank you, Renee. Sheila says, I've seen the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, the one that got snatched out of the theaters after 2 weeks. Not seen Violent Night. Okay. Stephanie says, I haven't seen Violent Night. Out of curiosity, is it good? Like I say, I recommend it. I actually do. I thought it was a fun movie, just a fun one to watch. Without, because it's like, I don't know what you've seen of the trailer, but it's interesting because they do it's I'm guarded in how I present this, because I never like to give spoilers, and maybe I'll just leave it at that. If you happen to read the synopsis of it, and there's this family trapped in a house, okay, and I'm sure you've seen the trailer. The family is trapped in the house, and the little girl is able to contact Santa Claus and ask for his help, and it's just a fun one to watch. We watched it twice, and it's like a 2-hour movie or something like that. Maybe it's over 2 hours. It's a long movie, but we watched it twice, and it's just a fun one to watch. Sheila says, but I can see Santa going off the deep end. Yeah. This PBR says Violent Night is a good flick. Yeah. Gerald says, my son Gavin wants me to tell you that his favorite horror movie is The Babysitter. Oh, yeah? He likes The Babysitter, huh? Ava, I remember, Ava really liked that one. She was entertained by that one. Bonin says, "'Tis the season for Godzilla fans. Godzilla -1. Yeah, that's right. Monarch Legacy of Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong due out soon. What a great season." Oh, wow. See, I've not seen it. I've not seen it. I've seen the trailer, but that's all I've seen. That's all I've seen. We almost watched Last Voyage of the Demeter the other night, but then we picked Violent Night instead. I'm happy we did, but has anybody seen The Last Voyage of the Demeter? And if so, let me know. Just if it was, you felt it was good. The trailer for it looks really cool. Victor says, "I saw a Christmas horror story. It's about Santa versus Krampus." All right, go get him, Santa. All right. But like, well, keep sending some of this feedback. But remember, we had the original question from PBR about the Winnie the Pooh movie, Blood and Honey. If anyone's seen that, Violent Night, there's one. So, and I'm kind of curious if anyone, if many of you have seen Godzilla and what you think of that, without giving any spoilers away, of course. But Renee says, "I even left Alien Scientist like V for you. That's how much you mean to me, horror host Brian." Oh, thank you, Renee. Oh, now I gotta stay on. Stephanie says, "I didn't see The Last Voyage of Demeter. Sorry." Okay, yeah, I came really close. We picked Violent Night. Like I say, I'm glad we did. It was just a fun movie to watch. I would even watch it a third time. That's pretty rare. Like I was saying, Paul says Last Voyage of the Demeter was good. Most of the creature shots were practical effects. Oh, cool. That's neat. Great story. Maybe that'll be this coming weekend. Maybe that'll be what I see. Yeah. Very cool. All right. So there is a thumbs up for Last Voyage of the Demeter. Bonin says Godzilla -1 is a classic. Toho showed the world that they do the best Godzilla movies. Hollywood can't come close. Yeah. That's what's kind of neat about this is now you have Hollywood pushing this. Like they've been making Godzilla movies, but they haven't been, like, it's not been really pushed over here in the Western theaters. So that is kind of cool to see that. And Godzilla on the trailer just looks so cool, especially that scene where, he's prepping to do his, spit his or shoot his the atomic fire or whatever it is, and you see his spines on his back starting to kind of click in place, as they're starting to glow. That looked pretty cool. Neat take on him preparing to inflict a lot of damage. Oh, Sheila says, "Who saw it? The Last Voyage of the Demeter?" Just thumbs up or down. Like Brian said, the trailers were awesome. Yeah. Well, Paul gives it a thumbs up so far, and if anybody else saw it, I'd love to know your take on it. Victor says Godzilla -1 was excellent. Does not disappoint. Okay. So we got Bonehead and Victor saw Godzilla -1. And then Al says, "I saw The Last Voyage of the Demeter, Brian. It's pretty good. Not your typical Dracula movie." Very cool. Very cool feedback here we're getting here, guys. So not only for me, but for everybody who's on here. If you kind of are wondering, here's some feedback. Stephanie says, "The only horror Christmas movie I've seen are 1970s Black Christmas and Gremlins." Gremlins, yeah, it's cool that you threw Gremlins in there, yeah. Sheila says, "Thanks, Paul. Now I need to see if it's streaming." Very cool. Yeah, I haven't seen. I watched a movie last night, The Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, and I remember maybe it was one of you were saying that you saw it. and it was like 3 hours long or something like that, and and I remember you saying you enjoyed it, and I just couldn't get past what they did with Nebula. Had you know Nebula, the blue? Look at this. I prepared for this because I wanted to say, I wanted to mention the movie that I watched, but this is Nebula, the blue girl, the Thanos' daughter that's been cybernetically enhanced. You know, her bionics and all that. Look at her now. What the heck? What the heck? So, yeah, they've defeminized Nebula, given her a gruffer voice and a little bit more masculine, gruffer voice, and given her a more masculine appearance. And I don't like seeing that. You know, why? I know why, but I mean, yeah, I couldn't get past it. As far as the humor and stuff seemed to be about on the same level as the second one. I liked the first one. I will say I liked the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie the best. The second one was a little, it was okay. The third one was okay. I'm not saying it was horrible, but that was the one thing I just kept saying, like, really? You got to do that. You got to do that. And so that's my take on it. I don't like to see that, but and I couldn't get past that because she played a much more major role in this movie. I thought that was stupid. Oh, Tom says I think I read that. Is it streaming anywhere? I think it's streaming on Prime. I think that's where I saw it on Prime. So Renee says, "Yeah, Nebula rocks." Yeah, she does. I like the character. I thought it was ridiculous. Well, we'll put her on there, but we won't let her look like she's got a female shape to her anymore. You know, that's a great idea. Bonin says Netflix, maybe, Tom. It might be, but I think it's on Amazon Prime. I think it's on Prime. Paul says, I can only find Demeter streaming for rent on Amazon. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think you have to rent it. Sheila says, streaming on Prime, YouTube. Starhawk, Renee says. Starhawk. Renee says, Star-Lord. Yeah, I like that guy. I think he's kind of funny. But, yeah, just so disgusted in that I'm just so sick of seeing that nonsense. PBR says, anyone seen the old TV Kolchak? Started the series recently, so good. Oh, yeah. I love that. In fact, I'm one of the old OG viewers. I was one of the, I watched it when it first came on TV. I remember the first night that I watched it, and it was coming on TV. I was so excited, you know. Yeah, I love that show. That's what inspired Chris Carter, who came up with the X-Files. To come up with the X-Files was the Night Stalker, the Kolchak series. Renee says, Nighthawk, Defenders. Oh, okay, that Nighthawk. Okay, from the Defenders comics, huh? Are they making a movie of him? Or was he on Guardians and I missed it? I don't know. I know they had Adam Warlock on there, one of the newer characters on there. This is Apple TV, Vudu, Google Play movie. Black Bolt and Humans, Renee says. They featured him briefly, very briefly, on the Doctor Strange, I don't know, the last one they did. I forget the name of it. I like Groot, Stephanie says. Yeah. Bonehead says, yep, PBR Darren McGavin is great as Kolchak. Yes, he was. Darren McGavin is the best in A Christmas Story, a classic that is in season now, Bonehead says. I know it. I have to watch that movie every season. Renee gives a little raccoon with a rocket there for that little raccoon character. Guardians of the Galaxy. I know they've been around for a long time. I remember when I was a little kid having a comic of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I never really got into them, just like the X-Men. I never really got into them, but I'm aware of who they are. So that's kind of cool. I loved the first movie the best of the Guardians. I just thought that was just so so well done. I was watching a thing right before Bonehead says it's a Christmas tradition here in my house. Yeah, yeah. Me too, even if I'm the only one who watches it. I have to watch a Christmas Story. I was watching a thing here on, y'all know, if you've been on here for any amount of time over at least a month or so, I'm sure we've talked about it, but I love John Carpenter horror movies. I very much enjoy his movies. Not just his horror movies, but I'm a big fan of John Carpenter. And I had posted on my personal Facebook page something just earlier this evening, it wasn't too long ago, about as I'm having this kick where I'm watching these old John Wayne movies from the 30s. And I'm and they're short. They're not even an hour long. And I'm just having a blast watching these things because they got the old, man, some of the stunts they do on these programs are so, or some of these movies are crazy. And I can definitely see, I mean, George Lucas was inspired a lot by these old action movies. A lot of the serials, the cliffhangers and a lot of the stunts that they did on those old movies, the transfer stunts where the old stuntman's riding up on the horse, jumps onto a train or a stagecoach. Or even another horse. But, the stunts they do are crazy in these old movies. They are really cool. But that led me to, John Carpenter loved Westerns, especially Rio Bravo. And that's where I'm connecting the dots here. John Wayne, Rio Bravo. It's more for his love for Howard Hawks, the director who directed that movie, Rio Bravo. But he claimed to have incorporated the plot from Rio Bravo into several of his own movies, like Escape from New York and Vampires. He gives those two, but I can actually think of Prince of Darkness as being one that's similar, where you have your heroes are basically isolated and trapped in and they have the bad guys on the outside trying to get in. They have to overcome their shortcomings to be able to get out. And John Wayne Hawk made that movie. Basically, that movie was told like 3 times: El Dorado, Rio Lobo, and did I say El Dorado? Rio Bravo, El Dorado, and Rio Lobo. Basically the same story, pretty much. But I just thought that was cool because I love John Wayne movies, westerns, and John Carpenter. I did not know he was a fan of the old westerns, particularly Howard Hawks. So and Howard Hawks did The Thing in 1951. He didn't just do westerns, but he did a wide variety of movies. And of course, John Carpenter had his own version of The Thing when he remade The Thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. But in the original Miracle on 34th Street with Maureen O'Hara and John Payne, Bonehead says, I just watched that one 2 nights ago. That's another one I love. And I can connect the dots there. Maureen O'Hara, and of course, I was just talking about John Wayne, so very cool. SPC says Hollywood tries hard to make films that everyone will like. Unfortunately, I'm not everyone. I hear you. Me too. Me too. Well, I think right now they're catering to a. I suppose I'll try not to get into it as much as no more than what I've already said. But Superman, leader of the JLA. Superman's awesome. I am a Prime member, Tom says. Yep, we got Prime. We just, Renee says, The Thing. Escape from New York. Escape from LA. Right? Yeah. I remember that movie. I went to the theater to see Escape from LA. Agree, these old TV series are great, SBC says. Yeah. And, oh, it is past 8:30, so let me put the schedule up, then I'll jump back here in the comments. This Saturday night, December 16th, on Stream TV at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, the Chiller Night Live pre-show at 9 p.m., Bride of the Gorilla. At 10:30, Atom Age Vampire. Then at 12:10, the movie is Manos, The Hands of Fate. I gotta say it like that. I gotta make the title sound more interesting than the movie itself, which isn't hard to do. 1:35. Children shouldn't play with dead things. All right, there you have it. You can watch that on Stream TV at streammedia.tv. There you go. And Renee says, I heard an ambulance drive by. Yeah, they got all kinds of sirens and stuff going on outside. There's another one. So, Renee says, Clint Eastwood. Clint Howard, she says. Clint Howard, okay. Yeah. Figures typical Amazon, Tom says. I know I skipped some of these, trying to keep up. Renee says, I don't look at intelligence community. Hell no, UFO, top secret, declassified, disclosure, transparency, a bummer. At first I did, but I actually look at as a steep forward. MIBs are actually hiding ETs, UFOs. Yeah, it's been going on for too long now. Much too long. SBC says, I quickly emailed you a list of names that I thought of for the chat. Oh yeah? Brad says, coming to public domain in 2024, the fall of the House of Usher. Yeah, a lot of... Oh, in 2024, okay. Huh. Oh, I don't see the email. Did you mean now? Did you do it now? Maybe I didn't get it yet. Well, it depends where it was sent, though. Let me check my other emails here. No, I don't see it. Let's see. All right, I'll look at that a little bit later. Sheila says, John C., The Thing, They Live, Vampires, Prince of Darkness. Yeah. Renee says, MIVs, Men in Black, are actually saying, no, you can't see our reversed engineered extraterrestrial alien UFO 5. Yeah. Tom says, I want to see Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars again. That's one I gotta admit. I don't I think I saw that like when it first came out, but I didn't know at the time for some reason that it was a John Carpenter movie. And I don't think, I mean, it's one of those that I if I would have known at the time, I don't know why I didn't know this, but I probably would remember it a lot more than what I do right now, because I don't even know for sure if I've seen it, so I'll have to check that out. Renee says Space Wars was pretty good over Manos. That's not setting the bar too high there with Space Wars, but, I believe you. PBR says, looking forward to the new Spawn movie. Oh, that's right. I did hear that they were remaking the Spawn movie. Okay. Yeah. Bonin says, watching grass grow is more interesting than Manos. That's right. Now, Paul, if you're watching this later, I know you're not with us now, but if you rewatch this, if you watch this over, you'll see how much we all love Manos. SBC says, never trust the government. Ghost of Mars, Tom says, Ghost of Mars is a classic Carpenter movie, has Pam Grier in it. Yeah, why? Of all people, you think that I would, yeah, that would be right up there in the forefront of my mind, but it isn't. I don't know why. I'm familiar with the name of it, the title, and I'm familiar that there is a movie of that. Let me look at the cast. Let me see if anything about that looks familiar to me. Ghost of Mars. 2001. Oh, Ice Cube. That's where Renee says Ice Cube. Jason Statham. Statham. I'm saying that right. Nope, I don't think I did see this movie. I don't think I did see this. Huh. What's the other one that came out probably in the, maybe it was in the late 90s, and it had Val Kilmer in it. That was another one where they went to Mars. It was something about going to Mars. That's coming to mind also. Sheila says, Spawn, I missed the HBO series. Yeah, wasn't that an anime, or okay, Renee says Spawn cartoons. Yeah. Brad says, coming soon to public domain in 2024, The Terror, 1928. Cool. And at this time, folks,
Chiller Night Escape Experience presents Zombie Outbreak Escape Room. You and your team of scientists are sent to inspect a top-secret laboratory in a hidden military bunker. Sinister experiments have resulted in reanimating the dead. The facility is now swarming with the living dead, and you have 1 hour to escape or be overrun by zombies. Can you survive a zombie outbreak? Book your escape room appointment to find out. Book online at chillernight.com or call 814-209-8214. Gift certificates available at the store counter.
So, like I said, if we are to continue on Tuesday nights, what I will do, if you've jumped on here after I've said it, if we stay on Tuesday nights to do like a Chiller Night Live thing or a Chiller Chat or whatever, I don't know. We can talk about this or throw some ideas around, but I want to only highlight the business. I mean, we talk like this, of course. I love these topics because I'm learning stuff every time I come on here. But instead of highlighting Chiller Night Theater, because I don't make Chiller Night Theater episodes anymore, I would like to redirect the focus to, there's another one. So hope everybody's okay tonight. But I would like to redirect my focus onto the things that I'm doing with the Chiller Night Escape Experience store. Just taking like maybe every 15 minutes, and it's like I do with our schedule. But I sit here and I talk about for maybe a couple minutes at least, hitting what it is I'm doing. Like for example, with the Escape Experience store I'm doing. The Haunted House, of course, that was the newest edition for 2024 or 2023. I was remembering Brad's thing on 2024, but that was the newest thing. The zombie outbreak came out in 2022 when I opened the store. 2023, I added Jack Shadow's House of Terror. 2024, that's when I will be opening up early in the year. I'll be opening up the Witching Hour Escape Room. And I have a third escape room that I really would love to get done. It depends how busy I am with the witching hour, though, because once that hits, I have a feeling I'm going to be pretty busy with that. So I would like to see 2 new ones, but if I'll have to see just how well the witching hour is doing, because that directly, dictates how much time I get to actually physically put into that. Because even with the haunted house, even though I just got done with that, to open a new escape room and then to change up some of the rooms, at least 3 of the rooms, is going to take up quite a bit of time. So if I want to do it right and do a good job, so. Bonus says, don't worry, I really don't think Paul will ever stop liking Manos, but God bless him, he's a fan and he ain't afraid to say it. I know it, you gotta respect that. I personally think it's the worst movie ever, but hey, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Paul, here's Paul. I'm back, news not the great, surgery in my feature, Manos really... I'm sorry to hear that. In my future, Manos really cracked me up. Now you know why and need more surgery. And then Torgo, fracking Torgo. Okay. Torgo is only a pawn in the game of life, Paul says. Patty says, I started Spawn with the original comics. I think I still have them. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's been a little while ago, huh? Brad says, trust me guys, it's better, it gets better beyond 2027 with Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, and King Kong. That's very cool. Renee says, Image Comics. It's Imagine Comics, I think it's Image Comics, right? Or maybe it is Imagine Comics, I don't know. I know my cousin he had so many Spawn comics. He had collected the figures, his action figures. He had from McFarlane Toys. He had tons and tons and tons of them. I was so into Spawn. Renee says, Brian, you have to see Sci-Fi Ghost of Mars movie. It's awesome. Oh, I will now that I'm aware of it. I wouldn't have. Nothing would have directed me toward that movie other than this conversation here tonight, this exchange rather. I wouldn't have been thinking about it. So that's cool. Paul says, but I have a serious addiction to that movie. I get the shaking uncontrollably if I don't watch it every 2 months. Oh no! Good thing it's on YouTube. Is it on YouTube? I was about to say that pretty confidently at first, and then I started trailing down with my uncertainty there. Val Kilmer was in Red Planet, Paul says. That's it. Thank you, Paul. Red Planet. I know I saw Red Planet. I cannot be as certain about Ghost of Mars, though. Let's see. Victor says, Manos and the 915 El Paso go together. Oh yeah, I have not seen that. I'm not familiar with that one. Renee says McFarlane Spidey. I remember the McFarlane Spidey. It was a very very unique look. Stephanie says my mom has the whole series of the Walking Dead comics. Oh, is that right? That's cool. I only have the very first issue, but it's not even the original. It's a reprint that I picked up in a comic store. So, SBC says, sad to hear that, Paul. I hope they can fix you this time. Yes, definitely. Brad says, you have to ask Jack Shadow to come out of retirement with those movies coming up, Brian. Yeah, that might be, well, given a few more years, that might happen. I think it would be neat to come back to relaunch the show if I had a Chiller Night channel, streaming channel of my own. I think that would be cool. And I would only do that if I had sponsors. This show here, I wouldn't mind seeing this evolve. Okay, like I said, I was talking with Ava this week about this, about like staying, if I stayed on for the Tuesday night thing, but after December, I would just change it to where it's no longer a pre-show, because it wouldn't be a pre-show to anything at that point. You know, it wouldn't be something to where I would want to keep highlighting Chiller Night Theater, just because I don't do any new episodes. So if you guys are good with doing this, but I'm only highlighting after, I'm talking about after December. I'm only really highlighting my business, and occasionally maybe I'd have a sponsor on here. I'd be talking to the sponsor, and maybe down the road adding some sponsor involvement in the show, adding an interview segment to the show, turning this into something, but not right away, I can tell you that. That's really the only way I think I would stay on. That would make sense to me, is to do this, but highlighting the business that I'm doing, as well as doing this. If you guys be cool with that, I know it's going to sound like an infomercial at times, but that's what I would be doing. I just gotta say, if I would stay on here on Tuesday nights, that's what I would be doing. So think about it. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. So if I would stay on Tuesdays, that would be why. So Bone. Bonehead said, "I'd get the shakes and the squirts if I had to watch that movie, Paul." That's very descriptive there, Bonehead. I'm sorry to hear that. Sheila says, "Someone uploaded Star Odyssey on YouTube. No way! Did they really? Why? You just wonder why. Why would they do that?" Paul says, "Yes, Yes, it is. I'm starting a Manos recovering 12-step. Admitting is the first step to recovery." Yes, absolutely. Oh, there's my baby Ava. Give me a bunch of hearts there. Right back at you, baby. Love you very much. PBR says McFarlane is restarting his toy line. Is he? I didn't know he discontinued it. I don't know much about it. I just know back in the day when they were coming out with all these, I mean, McFarlane toys were big. That was a big deal. And I only know that through my cousin who was into the Spawns. But I think some of those monster ones that I had setting up, I think they were like chains, or the Leatherface. Now I think that those were, I could be wrong. I don't remember. This is 20 years ago when I got these things, but I thought that they were McFarlane toys, if I remember right. Let's see. Bonus says, "I actually watched Star Odyssey, and it looks like an Oscar winner compared to the movie we don't want to name. The movie that shall go without mention, the unmentionable one." Now I have to watch Red Planet, Renee says. Yeah. I don't even remember if it's good, to be honest. I mean, I watched it when it very first came out. Paul says, "Guys, I love you all. Call you tomorrow, brother, after 4. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Manos could be the sponsor." Okay, Paul. All right. Well, you take it easy, Paul, and I hope you have a good night. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you stopping on here. I know you had some things to get taken care of tonight, and I wish you well. Let's see. Let me get caught up a little bit. Oh man, there's a lot of comments here. Al says, "Brian, whatever you want to do, we are behind you all the way." Oh, thank you, Al. Brad says, because that was another thing, like just having at some points I wouldn't want to do it probably, every week because it's too much for me to organize. But, every once in a while, like I mentioned before about having you on here, even on the phone, to talk about what it is you do. I know that you've got stuff going on. It'd be kind of neat to hear your voice and hear you talk about some of the things that you're doing as well. Um, and so we'll see. If you guys want to stay on, we can stay on. But I after this month, I'm not. I'll be discontinuing my, making the schedule and putting up the schedule for Chiller Night Theater. We can just, like I said, we redirect some things to highlight my business more, and that's pretty much all I'm really highlighting. Then, I can see doing that. Stephanie says, confession time. I have a crush on Marvel Cinematic Universe's The Winter Soldier. Also, hi Ava. Oh, the Winter Soldier. I don't know if Ava's still on here. She'll every once in a while at work. She's at work right now, so she might get a little break and jump in there and log in and say hi. But she's usually only on for like a couple minutes. Paul says, oh no, Paul didn't say that. Tom says, sounds awesome, Pat. Oh, in response to Patty says, worst movie I ever watched, Breakfast of Aliens at 3 a.m. at a 24-hour marathon. Never again for that movie. Yeah. I don't know. Sounds pretty enticing. Renee says, awesome live horror show. Oh, thank you, Renee. Thank you. Tom says, unless you want to rob a bank, you're on your own, Brian. What? Who's robbing a bank? I missed something. What did I miss? Patty says, does anyone want to do a Son of Jack Shadows spinoff? What? Alice says, I would love to. I'm in, Pat. Brad says, Monster? We're British. Ah, we're Express. Yes, I love that line. Peter Cushing. Renee says, epic live show. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put the schedule up here. Saturday, December 16th on Stream TV, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Chiller Night Live pre-show. And then at 9 p.m., our feature movie of the week is Bride of the Gorilla. 10:30, the movie is Atom Age Vampire. And then at 12:10, the movie is Manos, The Hands of Fate. See, I said it again like that. I have to. And at 1:35, the movie is Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. There you have it. Take a look-see. Just look at it. So there you have. There's our schedule. Renee says, Jack Shadow rocks. That he does. I know he thinks so. Brad says, Ega. Yeah, we're ripping on Manos, The Hands of Fate. And I actually was thinking of Ega earlier. Yeah, I was thinking, wow, no one's mentioned Ega. But that's a hard one to watch too. But Patty says, stay safe all. Oh, Tom says, we're behind you. Unless you want to rob a bank. Not whatever you decide. We got limits. Yeah, there you go. All right, he's setting some boundaries. Nothing wrong with that. Well, thank you, Tom. Renee says, awesome lineup, except for Manos. So, yeah. All right, I agree. Tom, evidently, or not Tom, Paul wouldn't evidently agree with that. But good night, all. Until next week, Tom says. Paul says, starring Manos. Okay. Paul and his Manos. Renee says, it was a blast. Renee says, Ega is another bad movie. That is, you are correct. Yes, it is. So, it is 9 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for joining me and each other for this very fun hour of the week. That is Chiller Night Live. See you next week. So have a good night. Have a good chiller night. Later.